If you've ever felt like life is just too noisy, like you can't hear yourself think some days, you are not alone. And today I'm sharing a story that started with a hearing test and turned into a huge aha moment about parenting, distraction, and what it means for your brand. Welcome to Marketing with Empathy, the show for brands who want to win the hearts and carts of today's busy families and earn a trusted spot in their homes, figuring out how to connect with the decision makers inside today's families. Hi, I'm your host, Sarah Panus, and I have over 20 years of content marketing experience helping brands drive leads and sales, and have worked with tons of brands from huge household names like Sleep Number and American Express and Nestle Waters and Lindt Chocolate, down to small and medium-sized brands, which is the bread and butter of who I love helping these days in my consulting business. So join me here as I share ideas, stories, and strategies to help you grow and attract leads and sales. And thanks to your support, this show is a top 5% show, woohoo, and a member of the Marketing Podcast Network. So let's hear from today's sponsors and then jump right into my story of how I thought I was going deaf and the realization it gave me and how that applies to your brand. Hi, and welcome back. So here's the deal. My kids and husband kept complaining that I wasn't hearing them, like all the time, specifically in the car and at home. They were tired of repeating themselves. And honestly, I was annoyed that they were annoyed. It's like, come on, cut me a break. If I didn't hear a word here or there, just say it again, right? Just repeat yourself. But it was happening so frequently over this past year that I started to wonder, gosh, am I actually losing my hearing? Because it's true, like I'm not catching everything that they're saying. I have family members that have hearing aids, my dad, my brother-in-law. I know a few other people like me who are in their mid to late 40s and they've gotten their first hearing aids. So I thought, maybe is it my time? I don't know. So I made an appointment with an audiologist, which is who you see for fancy hearing tests. I figured if I need hearing aids, fine. I'm not proud. Hearing is what matters. I will wear hearing aids if I needed them. So I just recently went in. They put me through all these tests, really fancy equipment, the soundproof room, multiple different wires and headphones apparatus, different beeps and words and things like that were testing my ear health as well as my ability to hear. And after it all, the audiologist looks at me and he says, "Your hearing is excellent. Actually, it's better than mine." I was like, wait, what? Well, why can't I hear people then? Like, what's going on? So it turns out my ears aren't the problem. So what is? We discussed several other factors that it could be, additional testing that I could take if it continued to really bother me. But as we were talking about all the potential things, other things that it could be, one of the suggestions that he said really resonated with me to the point, and I was like, gosh, I feel like that could be it. And he gently suggested one of those things was he said, could it be a distraction issue? Oof, that one hit. Could it be a distraction issue? Because yes, all right, I am distracted around my kids regularly, right? Like my brain is constantly going work, home, errands, meals, the next podcast episode, worrying about my kids and husband, wondering about AI, what I need to add to the grocery list. And it doesn't help that quite often my kids talk to me while a lot of other noises and things are happening as well. So while the TV is on or the stove fan is running, the oven timer is beeping, the dog is barking, I'm in the bathroom brushing my teeth, or in the car and I'm driving and I'm likely thinking about something work or family related while I'm driving, or I'm just zoning out enjoying a really good song that's on the radio. Of course, I'm not fully hearing them. Guilty as charged. 100%. Like, oh, I was like, gosh. And that's when it kind of clicked with me. And I thought, geez, there is really a big difference between hearing and listening. I'm going to say that again for any of you who might be having this realization along with me. There's a big difference between hearing and listening. And so this story really isn't about hearing, it's about presence. And the truth is, I try to be present. I really do. But like a lot of working moms and working parents, I'm often pulled in 20 different directions. Even when I'm physically there, my mind can be somewhere else. And I hate saying that because I wish I could be one of those very fully present people, but I'm not. I'm working on it. And maybe you feel that too. And it made me think about all the moments I've missed or misunderstood, not because I didn't care, but because I wasn't fully there. And then my marketer brain kicked in, of course. And I'm thinking, if I'm missing things in my own home because of distraction, how many messages are our customers missing every single day for the same reason? Your audience isn't ignoring you on purpose. They're just overwhelmed. They're busy. They're living with the same chaos we all are. And this is especially true for B2C and nonprofit brands that are trying to reach decision makers inside today's families. You're fighting for attention in a world where people are checking emails in the school pickup line, replying to Slack messages while making dinner, and listening to podcasts while folding laundry. So, how do you break through? That's what I started thinking about. And so, here's 3 storytelling shifts that can help. The first is to simplify your message. Confused people scroll on. You lose them. If your message takes too long to understand, it's gone. You've lost your moment. The second is to lead with empathy. Acknowledge what your audience is going through. Speak to their real life, not an idealized version of it, but also be empathetic in thinking about what are they going through so that that goes into your planning and in terms of the content you're planning, where it shows up, the length of things to make sure it's what is going to best resonate with them and showing that you understand and kind of get what they're going through. And then the third is to be consistently present. One ad won't cut it. You need to show up regularly, helpfully, and humanly in the places that your audience spends time. And just know that they might be distracted the first time around and miss it. So, consistently showing up is key. This is also why I'm a huge fan of repurposing content in different ways across channels and over time and not just doing a one and done approach, because a lot of times people miss things. We are not all the places all the time, and neither are your customers. So that's a great way to think about how you can consistently show up with not always having to make new content from scratch every single time. You definitely don't need to. And these 3 storytelling shifts and tips, they're true across all industries. But if you're in the health and wellness space, I wrote a blog post about how your brand can earn mom trust during this upcoming season. It shares 5 different storytelling shifts that are especially timely right now. So I'll link to that in the show notes. That was relevant to bring up here. So you can check that out in the show notes if that's of interest to you. As a takeaway, then, what does this all mean? For me personally, I'm realizing that even though my hearing is great, so my kids can't tell me I can't hear, like I can hear, okay, kids, I still need to work on my listening. So that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. I'm being more fully present at home. And I know it's going to take some like slowing down periods for me to do that, and really carving out that space is how I'm planning to do that. So I have those moments where I can feel busy inside of my head, but then I know that there's time where I'm not going to be. And I just want to try to be as fully present as I can be. If you have any tips for me, I would love to hear how you do this with your family. You can message me on LinkedIn. That would be amazing. And so, for you, though, as a brand leader or a marketer, your customers can hear you. All right. But are they listening? And more importantly, are you saying something that deserves their attention? So, keep it clear, make it empathetic, show up with purpose consistently. You can do this. All right. So thanks for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, please take 10 seconds to give this show a 5-star review right now at the end of this episode. And hey, if your brand needs help crafting a content plan that breaks through the noise and harnesses the power of AI so you don't miss the boat and all that's available to you to enhance your marketing, I'm here to help. Without the right content strategy, brands and nonprofits miss out on leads and sales, especially with moms who influence or control 85% of household purchases. In my consulting work, I create clear content marketing plans for B2C and nonprofit brands to help you reach the right decision makers and grow leads and sales. So you can visit kindredspeak.com to learn more about my story brand messaging workshops, fractional story support, and all the other ways that I can help you connect with your audience more meaningfully, in addition to this podcast. And remember, for my health and wellness friends listening, don't forget that I'll drop that link to that free blog post, How Health and Wellness Brands Can Earn Mom Trust, this summer and fall, at the link in the show notes. And remember, empathy isn't just a buzzword, it's your marketing superpower. Until next week, God bless.